Alright, how's it going, developer of the game? My name is Feral Taylor Fury. I've been playing the game since beta. For a while I was top 5 world, and given the size of the community, I'd say I'm still top 5 world at this point. I was speaking to Brad. He said there's going to be one more patch, and I would like to give my opinions on what I think needs to be done to every champion and every backpack. I have gone over this discussion. I've got a whole write-up on every backpack. We've spoken internally, and I've had long discussions about this. My big thing has always been I'm very good at balance, or I'm very good at sort of a macro sense of the game. So I think that I'm moderately qualified to give my opinion on this. So here's my thoughts. I'm going to start with champions, and I'll do the backpacks and items. Billy's great, Beamo's great, CB's great, Finn's great. Hunson, I think Hunson needs a 0.2 base move speed buff to bring him from 2.85 to 3.05 base move speed, and actually I think that would actually pretty much be everything he needs. It is like unanimously almost confirmed. It's unanimously the opinion of high-low community that Hunson's the worst champion in the game. But I think a base move speed buff of 0.2 would actually make him pretty much viable. Besides that, I think he's in a good spot. Gunter, I would like to see very, very small base damage increases on his Q and his W, like 5, 10 base damage increase. And I'd like to see a passive radius increase to make his passive wave clear a tad more reliable, and give him a little bit more. The way Gunter pokes in lane is he W's a minion from far distance, and that's how. Because if good opponents are not going to let you hit a W. So I would like to see a passive radius, a very small passive radius increase. Flame Princess, I would like to see an ult cooldown nerf. I think her cooldown on her ult should be a bit longer at all stages of the game. Fiona, I think her Q should last about 2 seconds longer, and her W cooldown should be about 1 second shorter. Besides that, she's great. This buffs her. This gives her more access to the tools she has without actually increasing her damage, which is pretty much what you should do to Fiona. Ice King's in a great spot, Jake's in a great spot, Lemon's in a great spot, Liz is in a great spot. Nepter, I would like to see Nepter's ult silence increased from 1 second to 1.5 seconds. It used to be 3 seconds, and it was brought down to 2, or brought down to 1. I think it should be 1.5 seconds. Marceline, it's a great spot. Magic Man's in a great spot. LSP, I'd like to see a little bit of her base attack speed reverted, but she's in a great spot. She has the #1 win rate, so. Peppermint Butler's in a great spot, PB's in a great spot, Rattles is in a great spot. Bella Noche, fantastic backpack, Billy's fantastic backpack. Bindle Bravery, I think the only thing that really needs to happen in this backpack is Demon Bloodsword needs to have the attack speed added back to it again. And that would put Bindle Bravery in a decent spot, and that would allow Metascience, that would put it more in line with what it wants to do. And I'll talk about more Metascience when I get to Metascience. Candy Monica Gallia, I think the only thing that needs to happen to Candy Monica Gallia is cooldown reduction on Gugumometer. Should be 5, 7, 10, 15. It should be 5, 10, 15, 20. That's what it was originally. You brought that down because Metascience, you buffed Simon Petrikov's glasses. And I think, what was this before? Oh, yeah. I think it would be completely alright for Gugumometer to have access to 45, or to let Metascience have access to 45% CDR if you're going 4 points this, 4 points this, which probably means you're 2 points this, 4 points this, 4 points this, which means you are sacrificing all your stats for utility, and utility, which therefore, in my opinion, means that you should be allowed to have 45% CDR given how many stats you're sacrificing in the rest of your build. And that would bring Candy Monarch Gallia, in my opinion, in line with Billy's bag. Champion's backpack's perfect. Chanting Ensemble, I'd like to see the power vamp increased from 35, 7, 10 to 5, 7, 10, 15% power vamp. I know that item's also on Icemark Gallia and Ultimate Wizard Wear, but I think that would bring this item in line with what the other backpacks want out of that item. which is good. And then just a tiny little buff. It's only 5% power vamp at level 4, which is almost negligible. It's like 20 health if that. Email's Dagger. Oh yes, for Jitsu, I think that Demonic Wishing Eye, this power vamp should be increased from 3, 5, 7, 10 to 5, 10, 15, 20%. That gives Demonic Wishing Eye a solid identity as an actual power vamp and power damage item, which is what Ice Mark Gallia really wants out of it. And it gives Fujitsu, it opens up your potential for dueling in the late game a little more. It makes you a tad more durable through the mid-late game, and that's really what Fujitsu really wants at this point. Fujitsu is never picked up because it has a suboptimal amount of attack damage and no armor breach, which means people will just always build Billy's Bag instead and output more damage. I think Demonic Wishing Eye, just increasing the buff from 3, 5, 7, 10 to 5, 10, 15, 20 would really open up what Fujitsu wants to do come the mid-late game. Hubris Saber Sack, I think the only thing that needs to happen is that Lightning Sword needs to have its attack damage buffs from 5, 10, 15, 20 to 5, 10, 20, 30, or add 0.03, 0.05, 0.07, and 0.1 move speed as a third stat. You can't touch any of the rest of the items. Ice Mark Gallia, again, Demonic Wishing Eye, and Ghost Pouch. Meta Science, so Demon Blood Sword, I wish I had the attack speed back. Grob Gob Glod Grod's device needs to have, in my opinion, and this is specific amounts, 15, 30, 50, 70 shields. Not 75, like this item has. 15, 30, 50, 70 shields. And that's actually mostly in line with what Technotank wants out of it. But I would be given how you sacrifice a good amount of combat stats in the rest of the backpack anyways, it would be nice to see to bring this shield item in line with the other shield items and make it a viable build given how you're sacrificing a lot of other combat stats in the rest of the backpack just for this buff. Technotank, again, same thing, and that would bring Technotank in line with Billy's Bag in my opinion. Sorcerer's Satchel's a phenomenal backpack, best backpack in the game. New Ultimate Wizard Wear, again, just a power vamp, 5, 7, 10, 15% power vamp. Vampire Rocket Gear, so this is the biggest change that I'd like to see. I would like to see you take the regen off this item, and then you double the attack vamp. 5, 10, 15, 20% attack vamp, which solidifies Axebase's identity as an attack vamp based AD item, while still having 75 attack damage but no armor breach. So take off the regen, double the attack vamp, and replace Nidosphere Amulet with Anti-Gravity Toe Chamber. It's already a balanced item. I think you could tweak these values or do something with it to give it a unique niche or identity, but in my opinion, really, you just want the health and regen, and the move speed actually is in line with, the move speed does synergize with the rest of the backpack quite well, and this change, in my opinion, would bring Axebase, or Vampire Rocket Gear from a C tier backpack to an A tier backpack. Yep, those are my thoughts. Thank you for listening.